Breaking news this morning as a house in Walker goes up in flames. It happened off 3rd Avenue. The call came in a little after 4 this morning. Police on the scene say flames were seen coming from the back of the house. There is video. You can see the fire coming through the roof. Both Marne and Allendale crews are on the scene, getting out the hot spots. They had some serious work on their hands. As you can see, we do have a crew on the scene and are waiting to hear from the chief. We will bring you more information as soon as we get it this morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Sarah. They expected to be sore and tired after running, climbing, jumping, and splashing at the Tough Mudder, but they probably didn't expect to get norovirus. About 16,000 racers and 6,000 spectators turned out at Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn to push their bodies to the edge for nothing more than a sense of accomplishment and a good Facebook photo. About 200 of them, though, ended up with norovirus, stomach flu type stuff. Now, state testing has been completed into the outbreak, and it's been determined that everything started with a sick competitor, and the virus then spread to others through contaminated muddy water getting into their mouths. So those with norovirus can be contagious for weeks after being infected, and this is an extreme case. In most normal circumstances, hand washing keeps you safe from noro. If you're going to do this in the future, mouth closed when you dive in. Live in the studio, Tim Doty, Fox 17 News. Former Major League Baseball player Chad Curtis has been found guilty on 6 counts of criminal sexual conduct following a lengthy trial in Barry County. It only took the jurors 3 hours to reach a verdict after the week-long trial that included testimony from several witnesses. Curtis was convicted of inappropriately touching 3 teenage girls, all students at Lakewood High School, while he was working there as a substitute teacher and volunteer weight training coach. We spoke with the prosecutor, said she was pleased with the outcome.
We feel that after a long road that these young ladies and their families have been through, they've had to wait a long time for justice, and we feel that today they were vindicated.
According to the prosecutor, Curtis faces up to 15 years in prison when he's sentenced. He will learn his sentence next month. A man is dead after a scuba diving accident in the heart of Grand Rapids. Around 10:30 yesterday morning, witnesses say 3 people were scuba diving between the fish ladder and the dam in the Grand River. One of them didn't come back up. First responders were able to get the man out of the water into the hospital, but he didn't make it.
A very difficult situation. His friends were obviously trying to get him out. They were successful where he was.
Well, we seen a guy in scuba equipment come running down the hill to the water, and he was on a cell phone. And I watched him look at the wall where the water was, so I knew something was going on.
Police are not releasing the victim's name until family has been notified.
Southwest Airlines beginning its Grand Rapids service at the Gerald R. Ford International Airport today.
They offer low fares and some competition for flyers in West Michigan. Fox 17's Tim Swore is live at the airport, where they're excited because there's no checked bag fees with Southwest. A Michigan skydiver had to be taken to the hospital after an accident in Hastings on Friday. We spoke to the Hastings airport manager, who said the accident happened around 6:30 in the evening on Friday. We're told the skydiver is a 40-year-old from Lansing who was able to open his chute but could not control it, and then he hit the ground. He was airlifted to a Grand Rapids hospital for treatment. He was breathing but couldn't talk because he had the wind knocked out of him. The man is expected to be okay. The FAA has been notified and state police are now investigating. It'd be fun if everybody who's of a certain age calls Hulk Hogan and wishes him a happy birthday, because you guys aren't old enough to remember. You used to be able to have Hulk Hogan call you and wish you a happy birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you'd call up and you get a message, "Hey brother, this is Hulk Hogan wishing a happy birthday to Tim."
Tim,
say your prayers, eat your vitamins.
Say your prayers. Did you get a happy birthday call from?
Oh, I didn't. No.
Stay away from the self-tanner.
It might not have actually been Hulk Hogan saying, "Kelly." Sarah, little Zayana's body was found on Wednesday at a house in the 600 block of 4th Street in Grand Rapids. Police say she died from blunt force trauma to the abdomen. Her family gathered last night for a vigil. They remember the little girl they referred to as Button. There was a memorial that continues to grow with flowers, candles, balloons, and pictures. Now, her father, 21-year-old Deshaun Threats, was originally charged with child abuse, but after autopsy results came back yesterday, police have authorized a homicide warrant for a young man who has a history of domestic violence arrests.
It's the eyes. She had the most amazing eyes. It's like she was already wearing contacts already. You know what I'm saying? She had the colorful eyes, and they were just bright, and she was just such a bright baby. She was. We just, oh my God, oh my God.
We're dealing with a funeral of a little girl that was taken too soon. We dealing with incarceration of the dad, parental rights from the mom. It's a disaster all the way around.
Police tell us that Zayana's mother was in the process of filing a personal protection order against threats, but that was never actually issued. They also say that on the day the little girl was killed, that threats was willingly allowed into that house. Live at the Kent County Jail, Tim Doty, Fox 17 News. Hi, Sarah. The Hunter family farm is what's called a hobby farm. It's not very big. It's just under 5 acres, and it has several different kinds of animals on it. It has too many animals for some who have to deal with noise and odors. This has been a hot topic in Van Buren County recently, and last night's meeting at the Antwerp Township Hall had a good crowd. A lot of attendees were there supporting the Hunter family and their farm, which has horses, donkeys, ducks, and chickens, some of which the Hunter's kids show in 4-H. In July, the family was told they had too many animals on their property, which is a change from what the Hunters say they were told earlier in the summer. Last night, we had a first chance to hear from the neighbor who made the initial complaint, as well as the township supervisor who now has to handle that.
I think the question here is scale. How much can you jam into 4.85 acres before you start to affect the quality of life of the neighbors?
You've got the right to farm, and you've got the opposite. It's just a tough situation that we're dealing with, folks. But I assure you, there is common ground that we can get this handled.
When the Hunter family found out they were in violation of the rules, they were given 90 days to get rid of some of their animals. They have asked for and have been given an additional 30 days. There'll be a zoning ordinance workshop August 28th at 7 o'clock at the Antwerp Township Hall if you would like to learn more. Live in the newsroom, Tim Doty, Fox 17 News.